Ladies and gentlemen, the leaks were right. It is confirmed that Valorant is the official name for Riot's new game, Project A, and they even released a little gameplay video for us that gives us a better idea of how the game is actually played, the different mechanics in it, as well as the characters and their abilities. So I will have a link to that video in the description in case you guys want to watch it for yourself. But what we're going to do in this video is pretty much just look through it, dissect it, talk about little things that I take note of, and look at all the characters and their abilities and dissect those as well. So I don't want to waste any more of your time. So let's just do it. Let's just hop into the video. So the first thing that you'll notice is the buy menu, which is of course like CSGO. You earn currency, you spend the currency on guns and shields and abilities. So you've got your sidearms, which are mostly pistols, but there's a little shotgun. You've got 2 SMGs, you got 2 shotguns, 2 sniper rifles and LMGs, as well as 4 assault rifles. And by the price of it, it seems like the operator sniper rifle here is supposed to be similar to the op. And looking down at the abilities, we see Blaze, Curveball, and Hot Hands. This character's name is Phoenix, and of course they all have different abilities, with his being fire focused. Blaze creates a flame wall that conceals vision and damages anyone passing through it. You can curve the wall too by holding left click. His ability, Hot Hands, throws a fireball that explodes after a delay or upon impact with the ground, and the fire damages enemies but heals you. Curveball casts an orb that detonates and blinds enemies, and you can fire or alt fire to curve it left or right, and this is one of his signature abilities, but it's not considered an ultimate ability. His ultimate ability is called Run It Back, which marks your current location, and if you die during the ability's duration or when the ability ends, you'll respawn at the marked spot with full health. We can see that this Phoenix player captures an orb, and it gives a charge to unlock his ultimate, which we don't get to see in the video because he dies before he uses it. Then you'll notice this giant toxic wall, which we'll get to, but you'll also see that Phoenix gets these sort of wall hacks here. He can see through the poison, which isn't from him. It's actually the ability of another character, which I will also get to. The next character, or agent, I should say, is Jett. Her first ability is Cloud Burst, which we see right here, which creates a cloud of fog that obscures vision, and you can bend its path as well. Her next ability, Updraft, sends you straight in the air after a delay. Her signature ability, Tailwind, dashes a short distance in the direction you're moving, and her ultimate is Blade Storm, which is when she has those kunais. They deal moderate damage, but headshots are still insta-kill. Left-click throws 1 dagger, and right-click throws all of them in a short-ranged burst, and if you get a kill, it restores all the daggers. The next agent is Viper. Snakebite fires a projectile that explodes into a pool of acid that hurts enemies, and Poison Cloud throws a gas emitter that you can reactivate to create a toxic cloud, and you can pick it back up and place it anywhere during its cooldown. Viper's signature ability is Toxic Screen, which places a long line of gas emitters that you can reactivate to create a wall of gas, but it costs fuel, which is this little gauge down here that automatically refills over time. And her ultimate is Viper's Pit, which makes a toxic cloud that covers a huge area, and it stays as long as Viper is inside the cloud, and it's pretty dang hard to see when you're inside the cloud. So they gave her like pseudo wall hacks because enemies that are inside the cloud are highlighted to Viper. Next up is Sova. His first ability is Shock Bolt, which shoots an explosive bolt that explodes in static energy on impact. And then there's his Owl Drone, which is this pilotable drone that can fire darts to reveal enemies on hit, which probably explains why it looked like Phoenix had walls earlier. Next is Recon Bolt, his signature ability where he shoots a bolt that essentially creates a radar where it lands, revealing nearby enemies when it pings, and it can be destroyed. His ultimate is Hunter's Fury, which fires up to 3 energy blasts across the map, doing a lot of damage and marking the enemy. Cypher is the next agent. Trapwire sets a tripwire between 2 walls, which sets off an alarm if they trigger it, and it will stun them if they don't destroy it, and he can pick that up and move it as well. Cyber Cage sets a trap that locks on and slows nearby enemies, which you can activate or move by interacting with it. His signature ability, Spy Cam, places a camera that you can watch the feed of, and you can shoot a tracking dart on enemies that recharges if you retrieve it or if the camera is destroyed. And his ultimate is called Neural Theft. It's like being interrogated by Caveira, pretty much. You can use an enemy's corpse to reveal the position of his teammates. Then we've got Brimstone, the dude with the cool beret. His first ability is Incendiary, which launches an incendiary grenade and creates a field of fire. Stim Beacon is next, which calls in a Stim Beacon to target location and gives players near it rapid fire. And his signature ability is Sky Smoke, which calls in smoke screens from the sky, and you use the map to do it. You actually click the locations on the map and it launches there. His ultimate is pretty similar. It's called Orbital Strike, where again, you just click the map and it sends this huge orbital strike down, doing a ton of damage over a few seconds. Then there's Omen. His first ability is Paranoia, which sends out a shadow in a straight line and nearsights anyone it hits. Nearsighting, of course, meaning that it obstructs your vision. Shadow Walk is essentially a blink or a flash. You just teleport a short distance after a little delay. And his signature ability is Dark Cover, which shoots a stealthed orb that bursts into a sphere that obscures vision, and it can be charged to increase the distance. And his ultimate ultimate is from the shadows, which lets you pick anywhere on the map to teleport there, and when you arrive, you'll show up as a shade that will go back to your original location if killed, and once the teleport is complete, you become incorporeal for a short time. And I left her for last because we talked about her in our last Valorant upload. Well, not the one that Jake did, but the one that I did, so you might be familiar with her already, but last is Sage. Slow Orb casts out an orb that creates a slowing field on impact with the ground, and enemies caught inside it are slowed and grounded, and make noise when they move inside it. Barrier Orb creates a huge wall that you can rotate before placing with right click, and her signature ability is Healing Orb, which heals you or a teammate to full health over a few seconds. Her ultimate is Resurrection, which does exactly what it sounds like. You can revive an ally to full health after a short delay. So that is a breakdown of the 8 agents that have been revealed to us so far. I couldn't get footage for all of them, either because I didn't want to steal footage from someone else or because it wasn't shown in Riot's official gameplay video, but it gives us a pretty dang good idea of how the characters and the abilities are going to play and just how the game plays in general. But I would like to share some of my thoughts about Valorant. Being a CS player myself, I feel like I can give you guys a bit more insight as to what to expect from the game. So a few things I'd like to take note of are some of the agents' abilities. Viper's ultimate seems really strong. It's going to act as an area denial because enemies are not going to want to pass through it. It's kind of hard to see when you're in there, but Viper can see you when you're inside it. Plus, it makes enemies decay when they're inside it. So it looks like it's going to drop your health down to 1 HP, but not actually kill you. Jett seems really fun as well. She's mobile, she's got utility, and plus if you're really good at aiming, she's probably going to be really strong, her ultimate at least, because those kunais, you know, they're insta-kill headshots and they reset, so you can just keep getting them back, so you're just like, woo, headshot, woo, headshot, woo, headshot. Cypher is going to be really useful for map control because literally every single ability of his gives you information on the enemy's location, so they're probably going to have to add like a charge up time or a delay or something to his ultimate because, you know, seeing the location of every enemy is pretty dang strong, but it doesn't specify if it's going to be like on the map only or if you'll be able to see through walls with it. We don't know. Sage looks like a pretty typical support hero. She's got heals, she's got a wall, she's got a res, she's got a slow. But for that reason, I think she's going to be pretty dang strong. I think a lot of comps are going to be running her right off the start because, well, I mean, unless they just like reveal another support hero to us during that time or anything, but yeah, she's going to be strong. I feel like everyone's going to be running her. And lastly, I want to talk about Omen, which is actually the name of an unreleased character in League of Legends. Fun fact, but his ultimate allows him to pick anywhere on the map and teleport there, which is of course going to require players to be very aware of their surroundings. And while I couldn't find any POV gameplay of Omen, he seems like he'll be pretty dang useful too because of all that utility he has. But that's it about the characters, because I want to talk about other stuff, some other stuff that caught my eye, and I would also like to mention one thing that you absolutely got to get right in a game like this, and one thing that sets Counter-Strike apart from other FPSs is movement. And after looking at different videos of Valorant, it seems like it has it right. I'm not going to show any footage, but I did see a clip of a player kind of jumping through the air, what looked like pretty much like air strafing. It seems like it has movement that's pretty similar to CSGO. I wouldn't be able to say 100% sure if you can B-hop in this game or not, but it seems like you have some sort of other movement mechanic or just something that allows you to have a bit more flow than just walking. And another thing that is really going to set this game apart, and something that I'm pretty sure just about everyone's going to be happy about, is that Riot confirmed that Valorant will have 128-tick dedicated servers. This is personally one of my biggest issues with FPS games. Like Call of Duty has it real bad. CSGO is a little bit better about it, but they still have 64-tick servers and comp, which is like still a little shaky, could be a lot better. But gone are the days of being shot behind a wall when you know for a fact that you were behind the wall. And gone are the days of seeing blood come out of someone's head after you headshot them and they still live. So yeah, it gets really annoying. 128-tick servers are going to ensure this game is competitive and there's a lot less BS. Riot even created their own anti-cheat system called Vanguard, which apparently evolves over time, and when it detects a cheater, it'll kick the cheater and ban them, and everyone else will get a loss prevented and the game will end. So that's cool. Yay. And finally, the last thing that I want to talk about are the graphics, the visuals, and just the overall aesthetic of the game, because that's probably the #1 thing that I saw people complaining about. I can understand not liking the art direction to this game. It's kind of simplistic and almost childish in a way, you could say, but I think it serves its purpose. You know, Riot wants their games to be easy to run so that way more people can play them. And it's going to be a free-to-play game, so they're trying to make this game as accessible to as many people as they can. So yeah, the graphics are not going to be the best, but that's because Riot is trying to do the smart business thing and, you know, let as many people play as they can. I feel like they could kind of add like an ultra setting that makes the game noticeably prettier than all the other settings, or, you know, just make like the lowest setting noticeably worse than all the other settings so that way crappy rigs can run it. But yeah, if we take a look at the minimum specs to get 30 FPS, they recommend an Intel i3 370M and an Intel HD 3000 for the GPU. For recommended specs to hit 60 FPS, they suggest an Intel i3-4150 and a GeForce GT 730 for the GPU. And for high-end, to get 144 plus FPS, they suggest at least an i5-4460 and a GTX 1050 Ti for the graphics card. And if you guys know anything about hardware, those recommendations are a pretty telling sign that this game is going to be really easy to run, because if you're trying to get 144 plus FPS, which is I'm sure what most of us are going to be shooting for, they only recommend a 1050 Ti, which is a last generation card, and it wasn't even top of the line for its time. And if you don't recognize the CPU and the GPU from the minimum and recommended specs, that's because that's old hardware. That's like years old. So if you have at least like a decent rig, you should probably have no problems running Valorant. But woo, that's about everything I wanted to talk about. This video is probably the longest one I've done on Esports Talk, because I'm so freaking excited for this game. I'm definitely going to be hopping on it right when it's released. I'm sure a lot of you guys will be too. But from then on, you can expect a lot more frequent Valorant uploads from Esports Talk, because Valorant's going to be an esport. And on Esports Talk, we talk about esports. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about the game or how it looks to you guys. I probably missed a lot of stuff to talk about, so if there is any stuff that I missed, feel free to mention in the comments. We can have a little discussion about it, whatever. I'm very excited for this game. I hope you guys are too. I cannot wait for its release. Gosh, this is a long freaking video. I'm going to end it here. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll be seeing you all very soon in the next one, so take it easy. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.